The annual strategic and economic high-level talks between the U.S. and China has come to a close, and U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has stated that the two nations have agreed to continue fully implementing sanctions on North Korea. The two countries might have found common ground on this, but difference in opinions remain in other issues, namely the South China Sea Islands. Kwon Jang-ho has this report.
The U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry declared that the U.S. and China are on the same page regarding North Korea. Speaking after the conclusion of the annual U.S. China Strategic and Economic Dialogue on Tuesday, Kerry said the U.S. and China were determined to fully enforce UN sanctions on the regime, and that neither nations were willing to accept North Korea as a nuclear weapons state. This comes in a somewhat conflicting tone from last week when a top North Korean diplomat made a surprise visit to Beijing. Lee Soo-young, the regime's vice party chair, met with Chinese President Xi Jinping, with the two expressed intentions to mend ties. Yi is also thought to have said the regime plans to continue developing its nuclear weapons. Aside from North Korea, another key topic of this year's U.S.-China talks was China's reclamation of islands in the South China Sea. Unsurprisingly, a substantial agreement on this issue was not reached, and while Kerry called for talks and a peaceful resolution, State Councillor Yang Jie-che warned the U.S. from getting too involved, saying China hopes that the U.S. will abide by its promise to not take sides in the disputes and play a constructive role in safeguarding peace and stability in the South China Sea. This dispute, along with other trade issues that were discussed at the talks, are expected to carry on until September, when the next G20 summit convenes in Hangzhou, China. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.